Luca and I spent all of yesterday over here in Mataró, in the apartment, just working. Very nice, very silent. Got away from the hustle and bustle of the inner city Barcelona. And today we're leaving. So Marvin and Luca are going to Switzerland. I'm going back to Berlin. And then we'll reconvene at some point. Probably first in Berlin, and then at some point we'll head back to Barcelona. But right now, you can already tell by the looks of it. We'll sea dip. Get some salt water on our skin.
Yes.
Okay.
The sun is out. Blessed conditions. Yeah.
Schau ich gleich.
What's up, my friends? Had a nice little bocadillo lunch here in Mataró. Shout out Josep. And now for the past 40 minutes, I prepped the kickoff with our new YouTube client, which is, you could say, like a beta test project, because we haven't been fulfilling a lot of YouTube projects. We've been mostly focusing on LinkedIn lead magnets and newsletters. But in this case, we just copy pasted the process that I use for my own blogs and are now delivering that to our second client. And so for that, I just first off brain dumped the entire value chain and small things I kept in mind, and that I think now in hindsight I would have structured that way to do my own YouTube channel as efficiently as possible, and then translating that to an onboarding for new clients. So that meant equipment checklist, exactly how I'm doing it and how I would do it moving forward, how to organize the footage, style guidelines on what the thumbnails and the different animations will look like, things that we haven't even done for myself. Now professionalizing them and templatizing them for them. A vlogging guide, how to actually approach the first video, and then making the workflow smooth for them, having all the calendar blocks for them already preset. The time between first draft, feedback, and publish, more from there. But I need to do a quick errand before the kickoff call that takes place in 20 minutes. And afterwards I can show you what the actual kickoff page looked like and how the call went. Let's go. Hey, let's go. Congrats. Very nice. Ich bin großer Fan und Supporter von Walk and Talks, deshalb please feel free. Und dann, ich teile auch schon mal den Bildschirm, danach machen wir auch gerne gleich Intro-Runde und so weiter, aber dass wir da schon eine Struktur haben, wenn wir ins Meeting jumpen. Genau, Paulina, eben, wir hatten ja auch noch nicht das Vergnügen, darum freue ich mich, dich jetzt auch mal in Action zu sehen, nebst dem Content, den ich davor noch ein bisschen gesehen hatte. Genau, aber ganz kurz, um euch abzuholen zum Ziel für heute. Und dann gehen wir in die Team-Intro über. Ziel heute ist wirklich, das Projekt offiziell zu starten. Das heißt, wir gehen über das Projekt Team und die wichtigsten Stakeholder, die alle auch im Call drin sind. Dann nochmal kurz auf die Ziele eingehen. Danke, Paulina, dass du den Onboarding-Questionnaire schon ausgefüllt hast. Damit hast du eigentlich auch alle Fragen auf Notos Seite. Eben Pascal, wir haben uns jetzt schon ein paar Mal ausgetauscht. Ich muss nicht mehr viel zu mir sagen. Ich habe Notos gegründet. Ich liebe Content. Ich mache selber Vlogs. Das heißt, ich bin so ein bisschen das Testkaninchen auch gewesen die letzten 8 Monate, um zu sehen, wie funktioniert das, was funktioniert, was nicht. Und dadurch auch schon mal ein System gefunden, was wir jetzt bei euch auch anwenden, was für mich sehr gut funktioniert, wo ich glaube, dass wir auch mit den richtigen Adjustierungen auch bei euch einen smoothen Workflow etablieren. Und genau, ansonsten werde ich hier in dem Projekt die übergreifende Strategie verantworten, QA machen und mit euch die monatlichen Strategie-Calls und Feedback-Calls durchführen. Damit aber das Ganze nicht zusammenbricht im Background und alles organisiert bleibt, habe ich weitere Teammember mit an Bord, unter anderem eben auch Nina. Nina, feel free to introduce yourself. Genau, aber Nina und ich alleine würden das Creative Genius in der Umsetzung nicht hinbekommen, wenn nicht auch Luca am Start wäre. Deshalb, Luca, gerne auch kurz Intro von deiner Seite. Hey, that was a very nice kickoff. But yeah, so what did we do in this kickoff? I'll keep it brief because I got to prep for going to the airport soon. But I always, for meetings when in doubt, especially when it's client kickoffs and structured meetings, prepare a Notion page that takes the guesswork out of what we're actually trying to accomplish in the meeting and takes the guesswork of any to-dos or questions or calendar blockers coming up. And so what we organized here in this special project, because it's YouTube, not LinkedIn lead magnets newsletter like it usually is we took the same structure as we usually do for kickoffs, and we added resources that they already received anyway, but we just wanted to restate kind of these resources. So I, for example, created a equipment checklist where I just talk people through all the stuff that they need to order and how to set up the settings. I also created a kind of vlogging guide, also talking about how to capture all the different days, how to think about filming mindset-wise. So these are some of the resources I created that I just wanted to link here again, same as the style guide. But then more importantly was the actual agenda of the meeting, and then introducing the team from our end, from their end, asking if anyone else needs to join the project, going through the scope of work and the deliverables again, confirming the workflow and questions we had there, and then, open questions in terms of style guide feedback. So we actually created this presentation here where we showed them visual examples of what the vlog could look like. Intro animation examples, different frames, how would the name tags look, all of these different things. And then going back to the actual kickoff page, had also the visualization of the timeline and what needs to happen. And then that's really that, all the action steps. And what will happen now is that Nina from the team will go through everything we discussed, update this page and prepare a follow-up message for the clients where she'll recap what we discussed, share this page with them, and then also just clarify what they need to do before our next meeting, which has also already been scheduled. So very smooth setup so far, and very excited for this project. I think these two have such a unique vibe and such a cool energy that they can really be a standout case study and an example for how to do long-form personal brand content as a B2B founder the right way. So yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
It's the content archetype of a new client. Very special case. Very, let's say, diluted and distributed focus, which is really interesting to see. And now that's always the funnest part. You have a person that just brain dumps all the ideas, thoughts, and visions of the future in the business, and then they have let's say 5 to 10 different strains, and we can then move it all together into one piece, one strategy, and narrow it down into the different content pieces and content topics. And it's always so fun to see the light in their eyes when they're like, oh my god, this is so much, how do we figure this out? And then you sit down and kind of move the puzzle pieces or the chess pieces and play with things and expertises, and then you figure it all out, and then you just display it to them, be like, hey, you remember you told us all this shit? Here it's all figured out and it makes sense and interplays with each other, and they're like, damn, this is insane. And that's always the moment where you see them realizing that working with us, but I also assume working with most branding stuff, is just much more than just marketing and strategy. It also works as a compass and clarity of life, because you just break down everything they do and all the ideas they have into kind of pillars of topic, and then you can work with that, you can play around with that, you can try out things. They don't work, or we throw it out, we put something new in. And it's just a very, very valuable piece of thing that we develop, and I also use it for myself in that regard, really.
So the archetype is kind of the representation of what you just explained.
Exactly, it's what we call, so Marvin named it the content archetype. We also call it the editorial compass to make it a bit more tangible for people, but it's essentially 4 different forms of content: tactical, aspirational, insightful, and personal. And each of these pillars has 3 different lenses. And well, you just kind of be like, how can we play this part? How can we play this part? This expertise and such. Yeah, we can zoom out a bit. Oh shit.
So we have 4 pillars: tactical, aspirational, insightful, and personal. And then we have 3 topics/ideas.
Sure.
Under each.
That's how it works.
And I mean, there's a newsletter that I wrote a while ago that just breaks down the entire process. I think there's a free resource there, so when we'll find it, we'll link it.
Put it here, somewhere there.
Put it there. Hey! I thought you had bags. No. Hello my friends and happy Wednesday here from beautiful Aarau. And I touched down last night with Luca here in my hometown, in my childhood home actually. And we're gonna spend a little over a week here with, you know, a lot of work on our plate, but more importantly also a lot of client visits and partner visits on the agenda. And so it's gonna be good. We're gonna visit new clients we closed with photo shoots. Luca is on a deep dive interview with a new client right now. We're gonna visit different clients in their offices, might film some videos with them, catch up on how things are going, maybe talk about new contracts, all of that good stuff, all while also ensuring that we're working on the right things for the business independent of the people that we're meeting, which is oftentimes the biggest challenge while traveling. But I'm excited, I'm feeling good, especially, you know, with the sun in my eyes right now. Yeah, after that, gonna be in Berlin for a week or so, then Copenhagen, also Barcelona again. So hey, I will take you with me on this little travel journey. I will try and just have different updates and segments where I break down what I'm doing or what is happening in the business so that you can also get insights from what's happening and not just visuals with music. But if there's something that you guys in general are most interested in or enjoy watching the most, please also let me know in the comments down below. Because yeah, I'm trying to improve, trying to learn, and having a lot of fun with it, but want to make sure that I'm also improving as I go. So with that said, gonna finish this coffee and then send out a newsletter. It's another case study, so I'm breaking down the story of how we worked with Hubert Romberg and the process we took him through, and I'm sending that to our email list because for our newsletter strategy, we currently have a bi-weekly newsletter called The Content Founder. It's a super tactical piece where we have one theme, one guide, one topic that we cover, followed by 3 quick links, whether that's my favorite new coffee brand or a YouTuber I discovered or whatever the heck, a book I'm reading. 3 links I enjoyed from the past 2 weeks. And then also a content founder breakdown, so introducing someone who's built a business on the back of their personal brands. So that goes out every 2 weeks. But then on top of that, I'm also layering in more spontaneous emails, such as, you know, these case study breakdowns that are less, you know, visually optimized or anything. They're more kind of off the cuff. The intention is to, of course, on the one hand provide value, but also see if this can get us some sales calls booked. Last time I did it, we booked 2 sales calls from a case study email, and we'll see what happens today. Then I'll review some content for LinkedIn and also do an asynchronous content call. So I got 2 topics that Max wants me to go through and share my 2 cents on, maybe record a couple of voice notes, so I'll do that. Then I'll review the upcoming vlog for YouTube, and then I'm gonna go through the action steps from our offer updates that we concluded last weekend. So we went through our offer stack and made some changes. I'm pretty sure I already walked you through that. And we have some to-dos now, some resources we need to create, some things we need to optimize. And once that is done, my focus for the rest of the month will be to launch our sales engine offer. So building out a product improvement, a product upgrade, you could say, for our agency service, all around helping our clients book more appointments on top of the content engine that is already running. And for that, I'm hiring a consultant who's the best in the game and who will help us just take our existing processes to the next level and then roll it out to our clients. So that's the game plan. Also gonna meet a client for lunch here in Aarau. So yeah, let's go with it. Let's get to work.
In 2025,
Gonna analyze Greg Eisenberg's ACP framework to just hear his take on how to build an audience.
of how to build an audience. Okay, so how to build an audience in 2020.
Also, with my mom, we're just planning the secret birthday trip for my dad. He's gonna turn 70 in May, and we're gonna all surprise him with a trip to Mataró in Barcelona. And he's gonna be celebrated by a lot of family members that he's not gonna expect to see, so that's gonna be fun. Shout out mom for actually organizing all of it. She's a little camera shy today, but she's an absolute queen and actually helping our business with finance and legal topics. while also working with UNICEF and finance. She's the reason I have, a decent amount of emotional intelligence, and probably also a more open mind towards spirituality and taking ownership over how I feel on a day-to-day basis. So shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. Freaking gorgeous day. So now I'm meeting Joerg Leuppi. He's the Chief Medical Officer of Kantonsspital Basel-Land. We're gonna get lunch at the train station because it just so happened that he's heading to Zurich today and has a pit stop in Aarau. So we're gonna get quick lunch, just catch up on how things have been going, and then I'll head back home to continue the work. But with Joerg, he's one of those clients that I've been working with now for also pretty much the first year I started Notus in 2022. So we've been working together for almost 3 years now. He's one of those guys that just has so much expertise, such good energy, an ability to communicate things very precisely, and because of his background and his expertise, he has a lot of interesting takes and perspectives on what is happening in the medical industry, in the health sector. What we do is just help him have a system that allows him to get those thoughts, those perspectives out into the world with very little time invest from his end, because he just hops on calls with us. We interview him and then take care of the rest. And so he's been featured on the Swiss national TV, SRF. He's been interviewed there. He's reached millions of people on LinkedIn by now. Got a new board seat recently. And it's just a pleasure to work with and a pleasure to catch up with in person. And selfishly speaking, I get to learn a lot from every conversation I have with him about what's happening in the whole medical industry. And so looking forward to seeing him and enjoying the sun while at it. And now for the next 4 minutes, I'm gonna call back my girlfriend so I have a quick catch up with her. So these catch ups, when you're on a long distance relationship, are freaking key.
Stop playing. I've been the one start debating. Girls call my phone to get faded. Girls call my phone to get naked. Cause I'm ready. Stop playing.
Heute war Thema die Zukunft der Gesundheitsbranche, mit Healthy Lunch verbunden. Und wie wir...
Deswegen war er hier.
Ja?
Kann ich sehen.
Ist super gewesen.
Schön. Jetzt der ganzen Welt.
Machen wir. Also, Shoutout Flowbowl. Macht's gut. Ciao, ciao.
I'm ready. I've been out drinking alcohol all night long. I've been out thinking about your love.
Uns ist wirklich unikat und wir können bieten. Ich sage jetzt mal, es ist einfach so eine grosse Bandbreite, weißt, wirklich vom herben Grappa bis zum geilen Dessert-Weisswein, also vom heftig dunkel gerösteten Single Canephore haben wir bis zum ganz fein nuancierten Geisha verfiltert und aus einer Röstsprache. Also sprich, wir haben die Möglichkeit, für irgendwie 60, 70 Kaffee können sagen, wenn jemand sagt, hey, der letzte, der Fettcat war gut gewesen, aber hat mir ein bisschen zu wenig Ahornnoten gehabt, oder ich möchte ein bisschen mehr Körper, oder können wir sagen, hey, schau, dann nimmst du den Vulcano, oder dann nimmst du den oder diesen. Ja. Und das ist mega schwierig, wenn du verschiedene Brands hast, oder verschiedene Kaffees hast, die schmecken dann alles ein bisschen.
Das brauche ich alles aus einer Hand, einer Rösterei?
Ein Röster, genau. Und also eben, wir können zum Beispiel ein Gestell haben mit Ilia, Michi, Hochstrasse, Blaser, Stoll, Rast, Henauer. Und der Durchschnittsespresso schmeckt immer ungefähr bei allen etwa gleich. Oder die Frucht, ein bisschen Schoki, ein bisschen Holz, fertig.
Ja, voll.
Und da auch...
Tschüss, Philippe. Erstmal, Shoutout Philippe, Shoutout Home Barista.
I've been out drinking alcohol all night long. I've been out thinking about your love, where you gone? I've been out taking...
A lovely catch up with Joerg as per usual, and also a very fun, unexpected introduction to Philippe, the owner of Home Barista coffee shop, which, if I remember correctly, was one of the first specialty cafes in Aarau, if not the first one. And I just saw him pour a filter coffee, and I made a comment about it, and that I think intrigued him, because I'm sure he appreciates if somebody also is curious and interested in coffee. And so I said, okay, you know what, scratch the Americano, I want to get a filter. And then he called me his way. I subtly put the Osmo Pocket 3 on the table, and I think he noticed that, but instead of a negative reaction towards it, he completely opened up and told me his story, how he got into coffee, how he compares grappa with wine and, you know, making that connection to coffee and how he sees the whole art of coffee. And it was a ton of fun. He then recommended a geisha filter, which was very nice. And now we talked about me perhaps visiting him next week for a little coffee tasting. So we'll see if that happens, if we can make it work, and if he's gonna be there. But that's the bonus or the benefit of documenting stuff is if people appreciate the documentation, it can open up conversations you didn't expect. With this camera, I can do it in a way where people actually forget about the fact that I'm filming and they get to express their authentic thoughts and just have a genuine conversation with me. But then you all get to participate a little bit. So that was awesome. Shout out Philippe and Home Barista. And now head back home for some meetings and afternoon work. Let's get it. Alright, officially kicking off the Sales Engine project with Joerg Leuppi. Shout out Joel. I'm gonna actually put you on camera here. It was good. And yeah, we're gonna build out and level up our appointment setting process, and that's gonna be the sprint over 4 to 5 sessions with Joel for the next couple of weeks. And I'll keep you posted around the learnings and hopefully also how I'll become an amazing case study for Joel's consulting business. So let's get it going. Nice. Genau so von genau. 15 minutes for our train ride. What are we doing?
Getting coffee.
Where are we getting coffee?
The one and only. Come on, you know it.
Come on, say it.
Ombar Coffee, baby. Ombar Coffee, the only one. The number one. The one and only. The true one. The Indonesian specialty coffee in Aarau. Makes a lot of sense. But nonetheless, it's the best.
Komm mit auf die Reise. Coffee. Wenn du sagst. What's up, my friends? Checking in from the finpension HQ here in the heart of Lucerne. The reason we're here is because we're kicking off our personal branding project with them. The goal is to position the two co-founders as leaders in the fintech industry and to help them communicate what they're building with the company and to just use the founder profiles as fuel to their overall marketing communication fire. And so as part of the kickoff process, we already had our kickoff call on Monday. Luca hosted that one with the team. Kickoff is always the same process: team introduction, goal alignment, and then just blocking everything that is necessary in the calendar so that the project timeline is fully set and the time protected that is needed. So we had the kickoff call already, and now we're in the setup process that takes 3 to 4 weeks to get the positioning right, the media strategy, the content archetype, so the editorial compass, you could say, the first content batch and the profile revamps. So this is going to happen over the next 4 weeks. And as part of the setup, because they're in Switzerland and because it just made sense, we also included a photo shoot with our partners from Morphbox Luca. And so it just so aligned with our trip to Switzerland that we combined the photo shoot with also stopping by in person, which is something that agency owners and running an agency, the most important thing for us is to nurture very good relationships with our partners and to just keep on building trust. And the most powerful way to do that is, aside from delivering great work, to spend time in person with them as well. It's definitely yielded a lot of good returns for us to just meet people, and that's also how you turn clients into partners, into friends, into mentors, whatever else. And so that's why we're here. And the beautiful thing is we're not taking the pictures ourselves. So Luca and I now have a pretty empty calendar to just get work done and talk things through, while Luca is taking banger pictures that we get to use during the personal branding project and that we can then use for LinkedIn and all that good stuff. So that's the outlook. We had some heated discussions and feedback before around communication and how we can do better. And so that's part of the game and very important as well. And I'm glad that we can have these open feedback discussions, my friend. Maybe we'll still continue it after I stop recording. But yeah, so that I'm going to quickly wrap up the next newsletter and share the next newsletter topics and then work on the action steps for certain pieces of our fulfillment process, certain guides and assets that we need to just improve the overall service. That's my theme for today. We're also going to meet Sam Kurat later today. So a beautiful outlook and a beautiful day and beautiful result.
So we just had a great lunch, vegan curry, yellow Thai curry, and now we're going to Café Tacuba, best coffee place in Lucerne according to Morphbox Luca, our video guy, the better version of me. Well, high praises. Let's make it happen. Let's try it out. You know,
Little coffee review with Luca.
the coffee review. First sip, no lid. Hey, no
Yeah,
lid.
first sip, no lid,
sip, no lid.
for those who know. And of course, one sip, everybody knows the rules. Let's get it.
Komm.
Bro, guck, die machen auch schon da. Alles ready. When you rate coffee, you gotta go for the black coffee. So now, of course, we could do two black coffees in Cortado. Oh. Green flag in the glass. We love it.
Hoi,
One sip, everybody knows the rules.
hoi zusammen. What is the rule? Can you maybe explain?
One sip, everybody knows the rules. Focus on the review now, okay?
Es gibt verschiedene, ich sage jetzt mal, Dokumente, Quellen, die müssen charakterisieren und zeigen, wie wir denken und funktionieren. Und ich glaube, das Mitarbeiterhandbuch ist ein typisches Beispiel, das vor allem zeigt, wie Ivo und ich das Ganze führen, leiten und wie finpension aufgestellt sein soll. Wenn du in eine große Firma reingehst, das habe ich dir ja gesagt, da hast du wahrscheinlich so ein Mitarbeiterhandbuch mit allen Regeln drin. Und wir haben, oder ich habe am Anfang immer gesagt, ich möchte nicht mehr als 10 Slides haben und das soll für immer bestehen bleiben. Also, wenn wir etwas ändern, dann wird ein Slide angepasst oder ausgewechselt, aber es kommt nicht ein neuer dazu, sondern keep it simple und das sind auch unsere Produkte, das ist unsere DNA, oder? Das ist extrem einfach zu halten. Und das ist genau das, was unsere Kunden schätzen. Also die Finanzangebote, die wir machen, Finanz- und Vorsorgeangebote, die müssen zugänglich sein, sie müssen einfach verständlich sein. Das ist extrem wichtig. Und das Mitarbeiterhandbuch ist genauso aufgebaut, es muss extrem simpel sein.
I mean, I understand why Sam is all in on Lucerne. This is crazy. Das ist ja einfach...
Für Luzern, für uns.
Ich schicke denen den Clip weiter und dann fragen wir, ob sie noch Sponsoring machen, bevor das öffentlich geht. Wow. Bro, it's our friends from YouTube.
Just finished 9 hours shooting of podcast material.
Appreciate you, bro. And now off to meet up with our clients from... Guess who's back? Happy Saturday, my friends.